Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Midday Live from our news hub here at Adesawe in Kanda. My name is Efua Tieku. The headlines. Mio Senior High School yet to be reopened a week after implementation of double-track system. Also in the bulletin, hearing impaired defies all odds to win prestigious presidential BEC award for 2017. And on the international front, woman who alleged she was sexually assaulted by U.S. President Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh identifies herself. We have details of all these and more, including sports and entertainment, in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us. Now to our very first story. All is set for the investiture and induction of the 4th Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni, despite a notice of a pending injunction before Anakrai High Court. A group identified as concerned staff, students and members of the general public has indicated it has applied for an interlocutory injunction against the University of Education Winneba and the governing council of the university to restrain them from holding or carrying on with the investiture and induction of Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni as the Vice Chancellor of the university. Renowned lawyer and lawyer for the former Vice Chancellor Raymond Atuguba has cautioned President Akufo-Addo against attending the program. However, the president will be at today's event, according to our reports. Expected to accommodate the first batch of students of the double-track system remains closed a week after school reopened. Now, the District Chief Executive Hassim Mohammed Abdallah says work on the school is 90% complete and appropriate for use, but not handed over to the district. Eva Atiboka has more.
Double-track system has started and students were supposed to report to school on the 11th of September, but we are at the Myong Senior High. The structure seemed completed, but then it's not been handed over to the district assembly. But students have been placed here, so at the moment they cannot come to school and they are in their various homes. So we're trying to get to authorities to find out what exactly the problem is.
We're trying to reach our correspondent to give us a bit more on that development. Meanwhile, you're watching Midday Live on TV3. We are also live on DSTV channel 279 and also on all our social media platform at TV3 Ghana. That's on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Now we'll try and get Eva shortly and bring you that development. But let's move on to some other development. Despite being hearing impaired, 20-year-old Richlove Rekumafo has defied the odds to win the enviable presidential BEC award for 2017. Her determination to become a teacher has compelled her to get hooked onto her books. Ibrahim Abubakar has the rest of the story.
Richlove is the first of 4 children by Janet Rekumafo and the late Godfrey Rekumafo. She was born with hearing impairment, but her zeal to become a teacher keeps pushing her to study more. She started school late at age 8 at a Shanty School for the Deaf at Jamasi in the Seychelles South District due to her disability. Her distinctive performance earned her a presidential award for academic excellence.
What was her secret?
She was thinking that the behavior and then the academic work in combination that made her to receive the presidential award.
What are some of the challenges she went through?
He had a problem with English and then maths. That was a challenging subject.
Her mother did not want her to feel neglected and ensured she was provided with all her needs, just like her other siblings, to enable them achieve their dream. Her interest in reading books by herself since childhood made it easier to support her educational needs.
Because my lifestyle no,
I realized something about her. Her lifestyle was unique, so I decided to help her to achieve her aim. When she was little, she was teaching children who were not hearing impaired the alphabets.
Osano, Otimitro, ABC, the good down, no,
Rich Love's younger brother, Prince, was also born with a hearing impairment, but 2 other siblings have no form of disability. Prince was also enrolled at the Ashanti School for the Deaf and is now in Class 5. His class teacher, Janet Apia, said he's among the top 5 best students in the class.
He's very good all round in all the subjects and very attentive in class too. Over here, we are doing our best, but at home, the mother can also assist him, giving him most textbooks or readers to encourage him in his studies.
Following their disability, the family learned and adopted the use of sign language when all of them were home.
She used to isolate herself from the other family members during conversations. We decided to learn their sign language so she could join us in conversations.
Jenna's brother, Reverend Yakunedu Yadom, has been supporting her and the children since she lost her husband. Excited about the award, he advised parents not to neglect their children irrespective of their condition.
Most people sometimes neglect such people. I've been visiting them day in and day out, and I've been advising the lady to be encouraged.
Rich Love attributes her academic prowess to hard work and family support. It is her wish, however, that the public will refrain from stereotyping persons with her condition as deaf and dumb.
What we want to say is that people have been calling them deaf and dumb. They don't want that name. They are not deaf and dumb. They are only deaf. You can call them deaf, but they are not dumb. As you can see from her results, and he was able to achieve the presidential award. So they are not dumb like people think they are.
She is currently pursuing her higher education at the Mampon School for the Deaf in the Eastern region. She hopes to climb the academic ladder to become a professional teacher. Her plea is for the government to establish more special schools for the deaf.
Incredible story there. Now on to health. The Bedu Health Center in the Tyne district of the Bunahafo region continues to deteriorate, with tuberculosis posing as a major health risk. The health center recorded 12 cases between January and June this year, compared to 6 cases in 2017. A report by Larry Pakwesi Moses.
The health center, which serves about 35,000 residents within the catchment area, has an average monthly OPD attendance of more than 1,200 patients. It is poorly equipped to handle major health cases. The emerging threat to the health of staff and other patients is the increase in TB cases. Inadequate accommodation to isolate TB patients and visitors increases the risk of contracting the disease.
Since this health center is the first point of contact, if the patient is sick, what we do is that the patient comes, sometimes you may not even know it's TB. You have to detain the patient, probe further, do other investigation before you be able to diagnose the patient as a TB case. So before you realize, maybe other persons has been infected.
Constant shortage of drugs virtually renders holders of NHIS cards in the area helpless. Some of the people express difficulty in renewing their registration.
I paid 8 cedis for renewal of my NHIS card, but I was told the machine was faulty. I was then directed to Nsoko, but to no avail.
The Badu Health Center, established in 2001, is bedeviled with structural defects. In 2014, efforts were made to put up a storeroom for drugs and other essential equipment, but the project remains uncompleted. Apart from the physician assistant bungalow, It's a 2-unit staff quarters at the health center, with one of them not in the best shape. A maternity block funded by the MP from his share of the common fund is also yet to be completed. Part of the health facility's land is also being encroached on.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. Now let's go back to the story of the investiture of the University of Education, Winneba. Now, Ghana's, we have on the line, we've been joined on the line by our reporter, Mercy Darling Loco, who is at the venue. Good afternoon to you, Mercy Darling.
Good afternoon, Efwa.
Mercy, what can you tell us about the investiture? Is President Akufo-Addo there?
He hasn't arrived yet, but his first set of security has been here to make some checks to ensure that the necessary arrangement has been put in place. Currently, we have guests arriving, members of the public, invited guests. We have students that are seated as well, waiting for the arrival of the President and the Vice Chancellor to be sworn in or to be inducted into office today.
Right, so the university is aware that there are still a series of cases and there's actually an injunction on that investiture.
Yes, so we all know that there is a group that has calling itself the concerned citizens and members of the public as well as students that have, they say they have brought an injunction to the university to ensure that today's ceremony does not come on. As it stands now, there is nothing that shows that it's not going to come on. Everything is set. The people are here, members of the university are here. We are just awaiting the arrival of the President. So there is nothing, but I could report that there is very huge security. Security is on the alert here. We have a lot of members from the security services that are here as well to ensure that the necessary things are put in place. They are scrutinizing everybody that comes in. I could tell you that the checks that are being done on the invited guests as well as the students that are making their way into the conference center is very tight. They will go through your bag, they will scan you with the machine that they have. They will ensure that everything, if you don't even have an identity card as a press person, you are not allowed into the conference center. They will tell you to sit outside. But as it stands now, there is no distractions here. The ceremony is going to take off. You are going to have Most Reverend Pamabako, who is going to do the induction service, after which we would have the Vice Chancellor that will be sworn in. Reverend Father Professor Atoni Afo-Bronin, who will be inducted into office today, to give us an address. Then we'll have the President Akufo-Addo to also give an address. Then the end of the program comes.
Thank you very much, Mercy Darling Loco. Now to some other stories. Ghana's credit rating has been raised from B- to B category by the international rating agency Standard & Poor's. According to the agency, it raised Ghana's rating following improved monetary policy effectiveness and stable economic outlook. Many, including the minority in parliament, have raised concerns over the Ghanaian economy, which they claimed had not performed any better. Ghana's currency is struggling to be at par with major trading currencies, especially the US dollar. But SP says its upgrade of Ghana's rating reflects the assessment that the country's monetary policy effectiveness has improved, albeit from a low base, and will support the credibility of the inflation targeting framework over the period. It also cited the central bank's recapitalization of banks in Ghana, adding it will go a long way in strengthening the economy. So we do understand that Standard & Poor's have raised Ghana's rating to B from B- and assigned a stable outlook, citing as main driver behind the upgrade Ghana's banking sector stability and monetary policy effectiveness. Today on What Do You Think?, my colleague Nuong Falong picks the brains of Ghanaians on their personal ratings for Ghana.
The city is back in the news as Ghanaians are worried about the exchange rate while still recovering from a banking sector shakeup. Standard & Poor's has increased Ghana's sovereign credit rating from a B- to a B. Today on What Do You Think?, I am asking Ghanaians, would they rate Ghana a B? We find out.
Well, I'll give it around E, because we don't generate enough to satisfy everybody, me included. It's going to be difficult. We should first of all importing everything, producing locally so that money circulates within. When we get money, the next thing is we send it out. by importing. And that is a mentality that I don't think Ghanaians at the moment are ready for.
I think it's a C because the government is not putting money into the areas that are necessary into the economy. For example, the National Cathedral. I feel like a lot of people need money for education, need money for food and all other stuff in the economy, and then they are putting it into the National Cathedral.
Let me say C, because C is not doing bad, it's also not doing good. So on the average term, it is working. To me, that's what I see, it is working. It could be better, based on what I'm seeing around, it could be better.
I see because I'm going to be a kohai. Na ska suni ho. Say first. Na be a kara say there enya kura.
I'll give it a D because looking at our pockets right now, in fact, it is not easy.
Existing companies are collapsing. I'm in one of the company working, but due to the bad economies, we've all stuck away. I'll give it grade C.
So let's go back to the northern region, to the Mion Senior High School, which is expected to accommodate the first batch of students of the double-track system, but remains closed a week after school reopened. My colleague Eva Atiboka joins us on the line. Good afternoon to you, Eva.
Good afternoon, Nefwa.
So what have you been able to speak with authorities on why it hasn't, it's not in use?
I caught up with the DC yesterday, and the explanation he gave was that the contractor had some monies that are yet to be paid to him before he could hand over the school. That work is 99% complete. That students can be studying in there whilst they do all of their money and finishing touches to all of the other parts. So that is what he told me as of yesterday. And then we followed up to town, and then we realized that senior high education.
Eva, can you hear me? Hello, Eva? Hello, Eva, can you hear me?
The same students, hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Currently, as we speak, the same structure is accommodating those who came to school last year, and they're studying in the same classroom, they're studying in the same small structure, and so 400 to 500 yeah. Then they wouldn't get a place to sit, they wouldn't get a place to sit, but that's the senior high school, locking. But work is 90% complete, and they can start studying in. I have here with the DC, we can find out more from him what he's been done, what he has so far done for the issue, and he told me that he contacted the DES, which of course they work on it to see whether they can get it open. But that is not fast enough. So I have him here that we can hear some more from him. Honorable, good afternoon, and thanks for your time. Join us on TV Story. Talk to us on why is Myong Senior High so lost?
Myong Senior High, that is Sang Senior High, Community Senior High, is one of the new schools. And last year, even though we're not given placement, we managed to admit 200 students. And we started the school in one of our gate fan schools, 6-classroom block. This year, we were invited to Accra, and the school was properly absorbed by GES. At that meeting, I drew their attention to the fact that when the students are placed, we would have challenge of classrooms for the new students, since what we have already is what is used for the offices and classrooms. And we used to run just art and business. This time around, we have been given four programs to run one single track. And we are expecting 400 to 500 students to be placed. The E-block that we are given by government is 99% completed. We contacted the contractor to make the space available for us to use since September is here and new students have been placed. The contractor is saying that if government can pay him some money, he would just come and finish up the building and release it. We have brought this to the attention of the infrastructure unit of GES to facilitate for the contractor to finish it and allow the students to use it.
Well, Eva, thank you very much for that report there. Now on to our MTN video report for today. Now, citizen journalist Emmanuel Gulabi reports on an uncompleted and abandoned senior high school building at Mamon community in the northern region.
The Namong Community Senior High School in Yunyu Nason District, formerly Bungrugu Yunyu District. This is the only school in the district that needs an urgent attention to cater for students within the communities in the districts. I am very, very sad to have seen this school starting 2014 up to date, but is still not complete. Students that hustle to get to far places to school. This could serve these communities around this district. Emmanuel Gulari, former student leader.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You can also send your video reports via our WhatsApp platform 055-1433044. This is Midday Live on TV3. Don't go away. Welcome back. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says government is working on a review of tax exemption rules to ensure that all loopholes are plugged and local industries protected. He has further cautioned taxpayers not to take advantage of the existing systems, but rather facilitate their businesses better with the authority to ensure compliance.
Data gathered from the Large Taxpayers Office indicates that filing rates for corporate taxes fell from 65% in 2016 to approximately 40% in 2017. Currently, VAT ratio also stands at 11% penetration, which indicates an underperformance in tax collection.
It's about 4 billion of debt from about 457 companies in the customs area, and another 400 or so million from other companies in DTRD. Then last year, about 112 companies were sent letters, really to very little effect, as people play with the laws, and we ourselves at GRA are complicit.
In an interaction with the top 100 large taxpayers of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta indicated that inbound leakages and exemptions will be critically looked at to ensure compliance.
And therefore, a review of all the exemption rules to make sure that we plug these holes and do not injure local entrepreneurship in the process. Then we have what we call, I guess, inbound leakages, in which we as customs do not seem to have a full oversight of the goods on arrival in Ghana, and the scans are also infrequently used or poor quality, and that's us being complicit.
He further urged the top 100 taxpayers to help bridge the gap between government revenue and expenditure by complying with the tax laws. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, reiterated its transformational agenda in naming and shaming evaders and defaulters, as well as putting in systems to increase revenue.
There's a perception out there that through tax planning, some of you engage in tax avoidance schemes, particularly through transfer mispricing with related parties, especially in relation to services and procurement to shortchange the economy. This is the time to streamline your tax affairs by making substantial tax payments to help expand the tax base.
The large taxpayers, among other issues, discussed matters relating to auditing, CTN implementation, increasing exchange rates, and the implementation of VAT.
The Ghana Standards Authority is collaborating with the One District, One Factory Secretariat to ensure that every product from the factories conforms to standards. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement, the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alexander Dodu, said once the products from the factories conform to standards, they will be able to enter any market without hindrance.
The One District, One Factory stakeholder engagement with the Ghana Standards Authority underscored the need for economic development through industrialization, through the adherence to strict standards. Adhering to standard will engender accessibility to both local and international markets and will also make it easier to compare products from all the factories under the 1D, 1F program. The Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alexander Dodu, said the Ghana Standards Authority will enable the factories to meet their required standards.
Your product must be the standard. If it doesn't, we have to help you by telling you that this is where you are not conforming. And that is what is done in most countries. State agencies don't say you have failed. Indeed. And for us, this is not just to the 1D, 1F, it's to all companies. Our style now of working is that we are here to help companies make money, but we're also here to protect consumers. And you do that by saying that, okay, this didn't meet it. It doesn't fail. Tell them that this is what you have to do to meet the standard so that whoever is buying is protected.
According to the 1D, 1F Secretariat, participating financial institutions are vetting business proposals submitted to them. It says so far the Exim Bank of Ghana has funded about 38 projects. The Agricultural Development Bank has given conditional approval to 28 projects. The GCB Bank, 5, and the Universal Merchant Bank and the Standard Chartered Bank have funded 1 project each.
That's and when His Excellency the President make the time, I think that we will go around some of them and commission them.
And that's it for business this afternoon. On to some more stories. And the Deputy Minister of Monitoring and Evaluation, William Kusi-Sabi, has confirmed there will be no downsizing of ministers and their deputies. Although the minister admitted the decision lies with the executive, he said the ministers are performing their duties as expected. William Kusi spoke with host Winston Amwa.
The Patriotic Party-led administration is running one of the biggest governments in the history of Ghana with its 110 ministers. The record number of ministers has been widely criticized by many Ghanaians as it is having a toll on the taxpayer. New ministries have been created while others simply realigned, including the Ministry of Inner City and Zongo Development, the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, and the Ministry of Monitoring and Evaluation. On 3FM Morning Show Sunrise, Deputy Minister of Monitoring and Evaluation, William Kusi-Sabi, said there is no immediate plans to reduce the number of ministers.
The president needs that number of ministers.
You agree we need the current number?
And that we are doing, everybody is also doing its work.
Are there not too many?
I will not say, I don't find any reason why somebody should not be there.
3FM. You think the number is okay?
Yes. As the president said, it is what they are able to do with the number, not necessarily the number. I don't know. We have an agenda to.
Except that the number is also a stress on our public purse sometimes.
It's not at all.
Meanwhile, government appears to be lagging behind in fulfilling many of the campaign promises. Government's flagship programs such as One Village, One Dam, One District, One Factory, and making Accra the cleanest city in Africa are yet to materialize.
The 4-year period that is given to government has not ended. And the government knows that we have to start from stages and to reach certain stages. You cannot just say, okay, I'll establish one district, one factory, then you can first month factory start.
Yeah, but first year, you said you're doing so first year, first year we'll do that, first year we'll do that. And
yes,
as we speak,
and the first year, all those things that the president promised that we'll do in the first year have been done.
Like?
What has not been done?
Oh, where are the factories?
You see, that's the problem.
But they promised 51. We've not seen them.
That's the problem I have.
The dams are not there.
The 51 that they did they say that you see the factory started working within the first year?
When you say you will construct 51 factories,
yes, even when construction begins,
have they begun?
You've started it.
Have the constructions begun?
He, however, said the National Identification Authority is on course to providing Ghanaians with new Ghana card.
Now let's go to the northern region, where residents in the East Gonja district have been put in a situation which can be best described as house arrest. The residents, who can neither travel nor visit their farms due to the current state of the roads in the municipal, want the Roads and Highways Ministry to pay attention to their plight. A report by Zubeida Ismail.
It's a market day here in Salaga. Some few residents make efforts to travel through the flooded roads. Most travelers are stuck in their homes. This is due to the continuous rainfall pattern in parts of the northern region, which has caused rivers to overflow their boundaries, causing massive cutoffs in some districts and municipalities. In the East Gonja municipality, roads such as the Tamale-Salaga-Bunjai Road, the Bunjai-Letipa Road, and the Tamale-Salaga-Pandai roads have currently turned into rivers where travelers may either have to cross by boats or by holding hands. The roads have cut off about 115 communities from access to healthcare, education, trade from Salaga. Some travelers at the time of filing this report have been at the banks of these waters for over 24 hours. Many have lost their game produce, as most have been submerged. The East Gonja Municipal Chief Executive, Mohamed Taminu, wants government to keep its promise to the constituents. The chief of Pembi Wura, Dari Haruna Bismarck, has also joined in the call on government for an immediate construction of the two main roads, namely Tamale-Salaga Makango and Tamale-Salaga Pandai roads.
An ongoing study by International Justice Mission has revealed that some children engaged in hazardous labor on the Volta Lake were sold for as low as 30 Ghana cedis. The study again revealed that children as young as 3 years old are still being engaged in fishing on the lake.
Trafficking of persons is a criminal offense. Statistics on child trafficking in Ghana are startling. An estimated 1.8 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 are engaged in child labor, with 1.2 million of them engaged in hazardous labor, particularly on the Volta Lake. The worrying trend prompted the International Justice Mission, in collaboration with other interested groups, to sensitize vulnerable communities.
To understand the issues of child trafficking, and most importantly, pastors and church leaders, to understand the need for them to be advocates in helping the injustices we see in our country, specifically in this particular scenario, child trafficking.
General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, the Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayose, blamed the church over its failure to protect the rights of children.
There was still sin, there was still exploitation, there was still oppression, there were injustices in society. The only reason why things are not happening is because some of us are silent. We refuse to speak.
Executive Director for PACODEP, George Achibra, expressed disappointment over the growing neglect by parents' responsibilities to children.
And I think this is where we have to make a move towards the combat of child trafficking. Today, it has now become obvious and clear that children are the vulnerables, and especially looking at where they are coming from in respect of the child trafficking on the Lake Volta. We need to all get up and try to see how best we can work to get the children out of this situation.
The Kitikwachi Forum targeted church leaders and identifiable groups. Victims of child trafficking recounted their ordeal at the event.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. Let's take a short break. We'll be back. A woman who alleged was sexually assaulted by U.S. President Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh has identified herself. Christian Blasey Ford told the Washington Post Brett Kavanaugh had pinned her to a bed and tried to undress her when they were both teenagers. Kavanaugh denied the allegations when they first surfaced last week. The top members of the Senate's Judiciary Committee are now expected to speak to both Kavanaugh and Ford. Ford, a professor of psychology at Palo Alto University, told the Post she had decided to go public as her privacy was being chipped away. She said she first approached Democratic lawmakers with her allegations in July, shortly after Mr. Trump's nomination of Kavanaugh revived the pain of the memory. If chosen for the lifetime appointment, Kavanaugh would be expected to tilt the Supreme Court's balance to the right. Up next is entertainment news. The 12th edition of TV3's flagship reality show, Ghana's Most Beautiful, has been launched amidst pomp, pageantry, and a beautiful display of culture. Acting Group CEO of Media General Beatrice Agyemang-Abbey charged the contestants to be confident and give GMB their best shot. The show will throw the spotlight on Ghana's unique tourism potential.
Royalty and supporters of the 10 ambassadors graced the launch. The Takoradi Jubilee Park came alive as the best of cultures and traditions assembled.
Culture meets tradition, displaying the wonderful culture of the West. This indeed is the life.
Adorned in stylish GTP designs, the 10 elegant and intelligent cultural ambassadors were officially introduced to Ghanaians.
10 adorable maidens, 10 beautiful representatives.
Congratulating the contestants, reigning GMB queen Zainab urged them to be confident and work hard to realize their ambitions. She warned them against pride and pettiness.
This is just the beginning of a journey full of mixed feelings, despair, and uncertainties. Through this journey, never underestimate anyone. Pray more, be willing to learn, slow to speak, but quick to listen. Do not entertain pride.
The Omahin of the Eastern Nzima traditional area, Awulai Amihie Kpanyili, encouraged the contestants to be worthy cultural ambassadors. The acting group CEO of Media General, Beatrice Agyemang-Abbey, is sure this year's show will be in a class of its own, promising viewers value for their time.
As a media organization that is dedicated to excellence, we are committing more resources into this year's GMB production. The aim is to give our cherished viewers and clients value for their time and resources. Our efforts will seek to promote the uniqueness of the GMB pageant, to promote tourism within and outside the country.
She wished contestants the best of luck, noting the show will throw a special spotlight on Ghana's unique tourism destinations.
Together with the Ghana Tourism Authority, our official partners for this year's show, we will leverage this competition to market our rich culture and to project Ghana as the preferred destination for tourism on the African continent.
For more insight and education on Ghana's rich cultural heritage, delivered in confidence, make a date with Ghana's Most Beautiful this and every Sunday.
Dancehall star Shatta Wale has dedicated his much-anticipated album, The Rain, to his die-hard fans in recognition of their loyalty. The popular singer also disclosed his team is working hard to endear his works to music enthusiasts beyond the borders of Ghana.
The fans, you know, I think they really gave me this encouragement after the storm, and I think that's why we brought this album out. I think I always do certain things that really affects, you know, like most youths in Ghana in terms of my songs, and I believe they've come to realize how I know God so much. So I believe anybody that listens to this album will really know the direction he or she has to take in life and really believe in the word of God. I believe we're gonna go for my tours, and like I said, we like putting our minds on Africa right now. We really want to penetrate into every African country to make them know the brand Shatta Wale.
And that's all for Midday Live for today. Please go to 3news.com for more news. My name is Efua Tieku. Have a lovely afternoon.